Hey guys, Angel Tia here from Simply Angel Tia. In this video, I'm just going to quickly show you guys how to crochet a solid square. So as you can see here, this is what we're going to be working on. This is targeted for beginners. If you're a beginner and you just want to learn how to do some of these shapes, this is a square here, and I will probably do other shapes as well. So look out for those. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get started on this. Now, before I do that though, I just wanted to quickly welcome those of you who are new to my channel. I post once a week, usually on Friday or Saturday, sometimes maybe a Sunday, and I do tutorials on how to crochet different things, and every now and then I'll throw in a vlog in there to talk about something that I'm passionate about. But beside that, it's all mostly about crochet. So if you're interested in learning how to do crochet work, whether it's to crochet clothing or blankets or wrist warmers, hand warmers, anything like that, check out my channel and see how it is. And if you like it, subscribe to the channel. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So for this quick tutorial, I'm going to use this yarn here that is just a scrap yarn that I had laying around. It's acrylic and it's a medium weight number 4, and I'm using a corresponding crochet hook size, which is a 5mm crochet hook or H8 US. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So to get this tutorial started, I'm going to start by doing a magic circle. And the way I do a magic circle is I just go through and loop the yarn on my thumb like that. And then I use my middle finger and pinch in that end so that I have it locked in like that. And I pull it out and I put my crochet hook through here. And then I yarn over and I bring it in. And that's my magic circle here. And just keep in mind, you need to leave your tail a little bit long just so you don't run out of it as you crochet into the magic ring, because you could end up kind of losing the string if you don't have it too long. Okay, now that I have my magic ring here, I'm going to do 2 chains, so 1 2, and then I'm going to do 20 double crochets into the magic ring. And these chain 2 here counts as my first double crochet, so I'm doing 19 more into the magic ring there. So I'm going to yarn over, go into the magic ring, and I'm going to bring the yarn back like that. I have 3 loops on the hook. I'm going to yarn over, go through the first 2 loops, and then yarn over, go through the final 2 loops like that. Okay, so that's now my second double crochet, because the chain 2 was my first. Now I have 2, and then I'm going to do 18 more into the magic circle. Okay, so go ahead and do that, and when you have your 20 total, we will move on to row 2. Okay, so I have my 20 double crochets in here. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to close our magic circle here. We're just going to pull it, and it's going to shut the hole in the middle. And you can make it really tight so there's no gap at all, or you can let it have a gap here. That's all up to you. Okay, and now that we've done that, we have to connect these 2 sides together. Okay, and to do that, we're just going to do a slip stitch on top of the chain 2 that we did when we started this row. So that's how it looks so far. It doesn't look so much like a square, it looks like a circle, but we're going to create our square soon. So the first thing we do here in the second row is we do a chain of 2. Okay, and then in that same stitch there, or in the stitch right next to it, we're going to do 4 double crochets in the same stitch. So that's 1 2 3 and 4. Your chain 2 here counts as a stitch, but it doesn't count towards these 4 guys here. It's gonna be towards the other gap. Now that you have that, in the next 4 stitches, you do a double crochet in each of those 4 stitches. So 1 2 3 and 4. Okay, so we're starting to create our squares here, or the 4 corners of the square. In the next one here, you do 4 double crochets in the same stitch. Okay, so that's 2, that's 3 and 4. Okay, so these are our first 2 corners here. And then we move on to the next 4 stitches. We do 4 double crochets, so each is going to have a double crochet in it. Okay, so that's 3 and then 4, just like that. And then in the 5th one here, we're going to do 4 double crochets in the same stitch, and that's creating our 3rd corner. Okay, and again, this is a solid square. Okay, so that's 4. And then in the next 5, or in the next 4 stitches, we do a double crochet in each. So that's 2, 3, and 4. Okay, like that. And then in this 5th one here, we're going to do 4 double crochet to create our final corner of the square. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and now we're going to work our 4 double crochet stitches, 1 in each stitch here. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th one is our chain 2 from the previous row. So we're going to slip stitch on top of that double crochet stitch from the previous row, like so. So now if you look, we have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 before the corner, which has 4 double crochets in the same stitch. So let's just take this out here for a second. So I have a corner here, I have a corner here, I have a corner here, and I have a corner here. So it's not, the shape is not quite there yet, but you're starting to see your 4 corners here like this. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to do a 3rd row. And this 3rd row is going to make it even more visible for you to see your corners. And as you work on this, you're going to start to see the corners more and more. And therefore, your shape of the square is going to take place more and more. Now, for this 3rd row here, it's going to be a little bit tricky, so pay a little bit of attention. So there's a stitch here. So this stitch, as you can see, where this yarn is this stitch here. And that's why we slip stitch. Right next to it, there's a stitch. We're going to slip stitch there as well, just like that. Okay, and then now we're in the middle. We're trying to get in the middle of what we're gonna do our corner. The first thing we're gonna do is slip stitch into that middle. Okay, so it's between the 4 double crochet stitches we did in the same space here. When you slip stitch in that middle part, you're going to do your chain 2, 1, 2, and that counts as a double crochet. And in that same gap, you're going to do your 4 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. So now for this row, this is going to count as part of these 4. So you're not doing 4 anymore, you're doing 3 plus the 1 that you have, which is the chain 2. Now that you have that, and this is going to be consistent with the rest of the remaining rows as well. And then you just do your double crochets until you get to the next corner. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so you did 7 double crochets here, 1 in each stitch, and now we have reached the middle. So the 7th one is on top of this stitch here, which is one of the 4 stitches that makes up the corner. And now that you've done that, you're gonna go right into the corner now and do your 4 double crochets in that corner to continue to keep the corner there. Okay, so 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and then you're going to go again and do the double crochets until you get to the corner. and you're just going to continue to do the double crochets, one in each of the stitches until you hit the corner. And if you count, you should have 7 stitches before you get to the corner, and the corner is going to be the 8th. So that's 7 stitches there. We are at the corner, in the middle of the corner. We're going to do our 4 double crochets in that corner. So that's 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and then we do the same here. We're gonna do a corner, and then we're gonna finish off the remaining single crochet stitches or double crochet stitches, which is single in the sense that there's one in each stitch, not doubling it up or not tripling it up or not quadrupling it up, just a single double crochet in each of the stitches. Okay, so here again we do our 7 double crochet stitches, one in each stitch, until we hit the corner again. And then we hit the corner, we do our 4 double crochet stitches in the same stitch, which is the 8th from where we started this here. Okay, so this is pretty much going to be how you repeat this pattern until you have the size of the square that you're looking for. Okay, so again, look at this. I'm in the corner, 1, 2 on this side, 1, 2 on this side. In the middle of those is where I do the 4 double crochets in the same stitch. Okay, so hopefully you're able to see this properly and you're following along. If I'm too fast, you could always just rewind the video and go back. Okay, so 4, and then now we're gonna finish this section here by doing our double crochets each in its own stitch until we connect it to the other side. So that's there. Oops, it's a little bit tricky here because it's where we slip stitch, so the stitches are a little bit tighter. Okay, and then the final one is here. Okay, and we're just gonna count this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now 7 is going to be right here. Okay, because keep in mind this corner of 4 is going to be on their own. So that's 7 because we're keeping it 7 on each of the sides, and then we slip stitch on top of the chain 2 that we did to start this row. Okay, so again, if I just remove this yarn, and again keep stretching your work as you go, the corners, keep stretching it out, and you will start to see your shape of the square coming together like that. Okay, so you're going to repeat this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to do 6 rows just so you can see the sides come together and the corners become more kind of prevalent and you can see them properly. So I have 4 rows here already. I'm going to do 2 more just to increase the size a little bit so you guys can see how the square comes together. Okay, so again, what you do in the next row here, which is the 5th row, 1, 2, 3, the 4th row, you start by chain 2, and then in that same stitch you do 3 more double crochets to make it 4 with the chain 2 you just did, and that creates your corner. Okay, so just like that, that's 4. And then you do a double crochet in each of the stitches until you get to the middle of the next corner. You do 4, and then you repeat all that until you come back here. Your final one should be in this stitch right here, and then you're going to slip stitch to the top of this and then chain 2 and start the next row. So I'm going to do 6 rows total, and when I have that, I'm gonna come back to show you guys how it actually looks like when it's a little bit bigger than this, because it will be more defined. Okay, see you guys when you have the 6 rows. Okay, so I have completed the 6 rows for this square here. So as you can see, that's the solid square. Yeah, so that's pretty much it here. So hopefully you guys learned something from just learning to do a square like this. And again, this is a pattern that you can use to do anything from blankets to face scrubs or face washes to coasters, plate mats, anything like that. Okay, so thank you again for staying with me in this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.